Hey, welcome back. This is ECZDC, and today we're taking a look at the EVERGOODS Civic Bookbag 22. This is EVERGOODS' newest product, and I am quite excited to get to know it. I've only had it for a short period of time, but in that period, I've already made up my mind on things that I really like about the bag, and definitely some things that I think could have either been done better or perhaps could be changed in a future implementation of this if EVERGOODS decides to go the route of making this a standard bag in the lineup in the future. But let's dive in and talk about it. So this came through as part of the Griffin 2 release. The Civic Bookbag 22, the Civic Travel Bag 26, and the EVERGOODS Cap 1 were all part of that. These three products were available in a couple colors. The DPM camo here, the blood orange that you can check out very soon, and the standard tan variety. I think all three look fantastic. I was most excited to check out this waxed camo because it's so unique to EVERGOODS style. Their bags typically have earth tones or more subtle muted colors, OD green, black, burnt orange, and this definitely fits in, but is such a unique choice. I had to check it out with my own eyes. So very pleased at this point. Pretty preliminary, when I'm making this video, I've only had it for a couple weeks. I definitely have some thoughts. I love a lot of aspects about the bag, especially the throwback to the heritage look you see or the throwback look you see from those older bags, similar from JanSport backpacks you may have had years ago, but then putting that little heritage twist on it. So let's dive in and let's check out this Civic Bookbag 22. So the materials, so this is a wax canvas. It is from the Scottish mill Haley Stevenson. This is a P400 C4X material in, again, that DPM camo variety. The zippers are all YKK, of course. We have number 10s, also number 8, and these are adorned with these really nice leather pull tabs that feel great in your hand. There's a little stick to them. They don't slide. The previous Griffin zipper pulls were a little too slick. They weren't too great. And I think this is fantastic. We'll see how they do long term. Zipper pulls tend to go earlier than other parts of the bag, and we'll be curious to see how they hold up. EVERGOODS bags have this nice little loop field with their logo, and this bag also came with a leather patch created by Dan Matsuda, indicating part of the Griffin collaboration. On the base of the bag, we see this chrome, tanned chrome leather. It feels very awesome. Not quite as supple as the softer leather here, maybe just because there's more of it, but it gives the bag great structure and also provides a nice platform for it to rest on. This bag, in my opinion, and in my experience so far, stands really well on its own. For the most part, I have seen it kind of lean forward if this front pocket is a little packed out compared to the rest of the bag, but we'll see. It depends on your loadout. So really nice touch. The leather looks great. If you look at the zipper line here, it also isn't, that basic U-shaped clamshell that just goes up right along the, the profile of the bag. It has this sort of diagonal track, and I think that gives the bag a nice look, especially from the side. I also think it provides a better interior sort of way to hold your items when it's open and laid out in front of you. The bag has a quick access pocket. This will be the first thing we really look at the top of the bag with that hot orange 420D material on the inside. I've added a handle wrap, but this is your very classic EVERGOODS handle. That nylon webbing looped over itself. You've got the two small areas for you to add a hero clip or a place to lash your gear to. I felt this wrap would complement the bag, and I definitely think it was the right move. So looks super nice. On the back panel, we have this waxed canvas throughout, and after wearing this, the few times I have gotten to use it so far, I've noticed that this feels like it's beginning to get a little bit more dry feeling than, for example, the outside of the strap or the front of the bag, where it still has a little bit of a damp feeling from that wax. We'll see how this does in the warm weather in terms of heat dissipation. We don't have EVERGOODS, current back panel with the 3D spacer mesh. And, wax canvas bags, in my opinion, they're great in the fall, great in the winter. I probably won't be wearing this in the summer when it's hot, or, if I'm going to a warm climate, probably not gonna take this with me, just for the fact that I'm gonna end up with a super sweaty back. So we'll see, to be determined, but that's my initial guess. So here as well, no breathability. You're just seeing that waxed canvas material pretty much throughout the bag, except where you see leather. So major change on the strap, no hydration pass-through. Most EVERGOODS bags, all EVERGOODS bags have that extra bit of fabric that ends here, which allows you to pass a hydration hose from the inside of the bag out one of the straps. Not included here. But again, this is a book bag, so I get it. It's not really made for the mountains. It's not really made for the outdoor use cases, but nonetheless, a change we do see here in this new form factor. So before we get into the main compartment, the last thing to show here is the front pocket. So we have that blaze, or not blaze, hot orange they call it, 420D material. This gives way to a couple slip pockets right here in the front, where I've got a small topo pouch, I've got my wallet, and they are also sized to fit, a small notebook. So that's what that looks like. You also have this third, much smaller sized slip pocket. Good for multi-tool, good for an assortment of pens, but it's gonna be too small for, a lot of things. So it's a great place for pens and some smaller items. This itself is actually very spacious. I've had inside the bag a small pouch for my snacks. This is from D-Made. It fits in there no problem, but this will fit a Cap 1. It also fits my iPad Air 11-inch. So you're gonna get a lot of functionality out of this front pocket. And EVERGOODS also has thrown in a key leash. One thing to note, this key leash is tethered smack dab in the center. So if I put this pouch in there, the key leash is gonna be buried right away. If this key leash had been sewn on the side somewhere, this side or that side, it would have been way easier to pull it out. But 9 times out of 10, if there's something else in that front area, it's gonna get buried by whatever I put in there. So keep that in mind. There'll be a few things like that. I think, you know, a future edition might make changes, or a future edition would benefit from having some changes being made. So I teased that hot orange quick access pocket. This is definitely a little bit more shallow than previous top pockets, those yoke pockets that we see. Significantly more shallow. It's reminiscent of the panel loader classic in a way. My eyeglasses case fits well, but I'm not really getting, anything else in there. I can't fit a EVERGOODS half cap, which I can in the other yoke pockets. A phone fits in here really well, but it is tight. So I think it's shallow. It works fine. You're gonna get, you know, your AirPods, your keys, if you want them up there, they'll fit. A wallet will fit, but it's certainly not as spacious as the yoke pocket you may be used to in your current EVERGOODS bag. And with that, let's take a look at the inside of the bag. Using this main zipper, I'm actually realizing something I will talk about some more, but there's no little pull tab here at the bottom of the zipper line. A lot of the bags will have that small nylon loop, which is great for having a counter pull. I kind of wish that was included. A nice little leather touch there would have looked really nice and provided, you know, something to pull against when you're opening and closing the backpack. So here we go on the inside. This is rated 22 liters. So keep that in mind. It is considered a book bag. And I've just got a jacket, got my tech pouch, my headphones, my half cap, and a water bottle. So this is your quick access pocket. You can see it is relatively shallow, small in size. And we have this stretch pocket that you're gonna have to use to secure your laptop, your books, your iPad, your magazines, whatever's going in here that you want separated from the rest of your stuff. This is super thin. This is that same internal pocket that you're gonna see on all EVERGOODS bags. It's not padded. It's just 2 layers of this elastic sort of stretch mesh. I'm a little disappointed personally, you know, considering it is made for folks going to school. It's made for bringing your stuff to a classroom or bringing your books around, or you're going to work. You would have thought maybe a small foam padded sleeve here would have been the right move. We'll see, you know, they can make changes in the future. This is a 16-inch Apple MacBook, and it does fit, but you'll notice that this quick access pocket, when filled, begins to sit on top of your Mac. So if you're bringing this large machine, be aware that, you know, it's not a super padded sleeve, but also you will have to work around the yoke pocket to get the machine in and out. Outside of this stretch sleeve, there's nothing else going on the inside. Pretty simple bucket. You do have your loop access to a foam frame sheet. I think the foam frame sheet is what makes this bag so comfortable. A lot of the other EVERGOODS bags have a more rigid plastic frame sheet, and this being foam reminds me a lot of the Mountain Panel Loader 22, also a super comfortable bag with a foam frame sheet. So in that sleeve, you know, I've got my iPad, I've got a notebook, and I've got my Mac. They all fit in there no problem. I do worry about how this is going to stretch out over time and loosen up. It doesn't have a ton of retention at the level of things that are currently in here. but I do worry this is going to sort of bag out as this gets more use. So that's the inside of the main bucket. But again, remember, this is, EVERGOODS book bag. So could they have added a laptop sleeve? Sure they could have. There's probably a reason why they didn't. And I'm a little curious as to what that reason is, but this is here the inside of the panel, and we have just one internal pocket. Typically you'd have a second pocket here on EVERGOODS backpacks, that mesh zip pocket. But this pocket itself is quite spacious. This top area of the bag has a ton of dimension, so even if you've got your bulkier items, they're gonna fit in here really well, and you're gonna be able to put and size some decent bulky items in this top pocket. Lastly, on the inside, we have this patch that indicates the bag's name, also the collaboration in that same sort of leather touch point we're seeing throughout the bag and other places. So that is, a quick walkthrough of the waxed DPM variety in this Civic book bag. Here's blood orange, just so you can get a quick comparison. I had never owned one of the blood oranges before, so I was eager to try it out. It is a really nice color, very bright. Still haven't used it. I'm considering if I'm going to keep it or not, especially with how much I like this camo variety. Can't really justify having two of these, but if you're interested, this is kind of your comparison. I'm actually wearing a darker red shirt, so maybe this is helpful. It's a bright, lighter red, as the name might suggest. This is also the waxed canvas cap 1. And this cap 1 has had a change. It no longer features that magnetic closure, which I so loved about that product. Also have not really used this yet. Still trying to understand if this is gonna work for me. With that heritage vibe they've got going on, this is that manual closure, reminiscent of inter-office mail. So pretty cool, pretty unique, limited release option. Definitely wanted to check it out and figure out if this was something I'd find useful, and I'm still on the fence, but pretty cool to see it matching in that waxed camo variety. So let's go through some of the things that I really liked about this bag. Comfort. I think that the harness on this feels more comfortable than a lot of the other EVERGOODS bags. Right now I'm leaning to say that it's probably because of the flat foam frame sheet that's in here. I'm able to actually have this bag draped a little lower than normal on my back. EVERGOODS bags are really often high and tight on my shoulders, but this can feel a little bit more relaxed and still provide great comfort. And I'm wondering if it's due to that foam frame sheet. The next thing I really love is this front pocket. Super spacious, great for quick access, awesome addition, but is it a little high? I don't know. I can't tell if it's a little higher, if it's just the way that I was used to seeing this being a little lower on previous sort of designs of the book bag, Excuse me. This stands on its own really well. Not super important to me, but a lot of folks care about that. So if having a bag that stands on its own is good for you, this one does it great. The last thing that is nice about the material is EVERGOODS claims it doesn't need to be rewaxed. That's a plus. One less thing for me to do with this in the long run. I think if I did keep this for 10 years, I would probably be rewaxing it in between at certain points. But knowing they don't say it has to be rewaxed on a regular basis is a good plus in terms of bag maintenance. So, lots to love about this. Great new look, great new design, but there's certainly a few things that I don't love. First being the location of this key leash. Right. It's underneath my current little D-made pouch that's in here, and that's because they sewed it smack dab in the middle of this front pocket. I think it would have been better placed on one of the sides. Additionally, EVERGOODS bags have this philosophy of being able to sling it over a shoulder, rip open the laptop compartment, rip open the side of the bag to get in and out. That front pocket organization you see on the CTB and the CPL, that's designed to be able to sling over your shoulder and get your hand right in and out. With this bag, there's no dedicated side access, but I'm surprised that this didn't come with a second zipper so that no matter which arm you sling it over, you have the ability to get in here. If I went to go over, this shoulder, and I'm standing, if I open it this way, my stuff could fall out. Whereas if there was a second zipper here and I could just poke the top open, get my hand in, or do that from the other shoulder with my other hand, I think that would have been a nice touch, having just one extra zipper. I think I would have loved having a little leather pull tab, that counter pull for the zipper, down here at the base where the zipper line ends. Just my opinion, but I think that would have been a really nice aspect to include on, a bag that had so much design and thought go into it. The last big critique I have is the laptop sleeve holder. That thin material, the elastic stretch mesh, provides zero protection, and it is, suspended inside the bag. It is protected by this thick wax canvas and this big plush foam padded bottom with the leather exterior. But inside the bag, I got a lot of stuff going on. There could be hard items like my water bottle, and that's gonna be clanking up against the housing of the machine. So that was a bit of a miss for me. I really thought because it would be a book bag, this initial design would have had something more reminiscent of the sleeve in the Civic half zip or that panel loader classic with the integrated tablet sleeve. And if I were to nitpick, I'd say having two internal pockets would have been nice. On the inside of the panel, you do just have that one top zip pocket. If this had that mesh pocket on the inside, I think it would have been really nice, just to give you that one extra option to divide and separate your stuff in the bag the way you like it. Those nitpicks aside, I think it's a great bag. 22 liters is an awesome size. You have quite a few varieties in color options. It is a limited release, so the tan's currently available, but these are not on EVERGOODS websites, though they are easily obtainable on the secondary right now. So if wax canvas is your thing, I definitely suggest checking it out. The bag has an awesome heritage vibe, and I think looks right at home in a lot of your office carry and professional environments. So great job, EVERGOODS team, on releasing a new product. I'm hopeful to see this as a standard release in the future in maybe their 840D material. I think this would look super sleek in that all black. We'll see. Hopefully it happens. But otherwise, we'll see how this bag does and fares in the coming weeks and months of use ahead. We'll see which one I end up keeping. But thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a great day.